morning, everybody. Again, my name is Gary Parker. I'm the Managing Director of C&T Associates. This morning's presentation is called Developing a Digital Marketing Strategy. And we're going to go through the main elements of that. As I said earlier, if you want to ask any questions, please, you can ask us. There'll be ample time towards the end, and we'll attempt to answer any questions that you've got. My colleague Sybil is going to run you through this in a moment, but if you can go to the first slide, Sybil, while I introduce myself. Thank you. My name's Gary Parker. This presentation is brought to you in association with the Royal Borough of Greenwich, the Generative Business Programme, which we are delivering at the moment, which is a programme to support businesses with a social and environmental purpose. And it's part of the UK Shared Prosperity Fund. If you are Greenwich based or deliver services in Greenwich, you may be eligible to join this program if you're interested in doing so and get free business support from Sybil and myself. It is a limited hours program, but it is free. But you have to be based or registered in the London Borough of Greenwich to receive that support. We are also running a similar program in the London Borough of Bexley as well. So our contact details will be at the end. If you want more information about either of those programs, then please get in touch with us. I have been C&T Associates is a business support and fundraising consultancy, and we also provide a lot of digital services and training related to those services. Our website address is there, cntassociates.com, and it's got a lot of information about it. We are also very active on social media. I'm on LinkedIn. Sybil is on LinkedIn. So if you want to link in with us, please do. And we work in partnership with a wide range of organisations, from local authorities to housing associations like Peabody Trust, to many businesses and charities and non-profit making companies. C&T Associates has been around for 20 years, and I've been the managing director for 10 years. For further information, contact us directly or look at our website and complete an inquiry form. But as you're all on our mailing list, you'll receive our regular mail outs as well. So, okay, I'll hand over to you, Sybil, to introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone, and my name is Sybil, and my background is in website design. So I've been providing web design and development services to small businesses for the last few years. And during that time, I have worked with a range of small businesses from a variety of different sectors, and also working together with C&T Associates to provide business support on programs such as this one. And I'll hand over to Gary for the workshop outline.
Okay, thank you, Sybil. This is the agenda for today for the person who's just joined us. It ranges from websites and SEO right through to developing a digital marketing strategy and offline marketing. Obviously, in a presentation that lasts up to about 45 minutes, we can't go into detail or too much detail about every single aspect of this. So obviously, you can ask us questions at the end. We do provide, outside of this program, a range of services, for example, which are chargeable. Sybil builds websites and online stores, and we also do a lot of work around social media. and digital marketing strategies as well. Again, make inquiries with us later or outside of this presentation today. Back over to you, Sybil.
Thank you. So I'll be presenting the main parts of this webinar. And when you're thinking about the digital marketing of your business or marketing in general for your business, not just the digital side, you would need to do ample research to really analyze who are your customers, what are their problems, and how your business solves those problems. So when you're doing your research, you need to consider a few things, and some of them are mentioned on this slide. So you really need to know who's your audience, i.e. your target market, your ideal customers, because this is going to influence the type of marketing you do, where you find your customers or clients, the platforms that you use to advertise your business, and other things such as the products or services you sell, the prices that you sell them at, etc. So on this list, we have age group, gender, geographical location, so knowing where they are based, what's their education levels, occupation, their family members, what sort of income they earn, what are their interests, their spending habits, like what shops do they usually buy from, and what are their pain points. And that's a particularly important one, because ultimately what your business is doing is it's solving a problem. So you need to be very clear on what that problem is and how your product or service solves that problem and therefore meets the requirements of your customers. So, naturally, being a web designer, websites is my favorite topic, so I'm going to begin with that one today. And this is one of the first things you'll be thinking about doing when planning the digital marketing of your business. So if you're planning to build a website, you need to consider several things like how much time you have to build it, what is your budget, what are your skills, so can you build it yourself or will you hire someone to do it for you? What are the requirements of your project? And by requirements, we mean things such as the pages that you need and content that will go on your site, any particular features like a blog section or a photo gallery, for example, whether you need specific functionality. Will your customers be signing up to newsletters? Will you need e-commerce to sell your products online? Contact form, maybe a chatbot, for instance. It is possible to start for free, and we'll look at ways to do that in a second. Using a website builder is the quickest way to get started. It's very uncommon nowadays to build websites from scratch using coding. So we'll look at a few different options for website builders on the next slides. So the first platform we're looking at is Wix, and you may have heard of this, as very popular. And with Wix, you are able to develop a website for free. So you don't need to get a hosting plan because Wix provides the hosting for your website. If you need additional features, then there is the Wix app market where you can install apps to enhance the functionality of your website, adding things like booking calendars, for example, and many others. The advantage of Wix is that the platform doesn't require any maintenance, so So all of the software updates are done for you. You can use Wix to build an e-commerce store, but to access the advanced features like removing ads, connecting a custom domain, taking payments online for your store, you must upgrade to a paid plan. But the free plan is a good way to get started if you just want to build something quickly and quickly develop an online presence. The next platform is WordPress. Now we put there wordpress.org because there are actually two types. There is a wordpress.com as well, and that's not the one we're talking about today. WordPress is a very powerful and customizable platform. It's a very popular, and today it is used on around 1/3 of all websites on the internet, which is an amazing figure. It's so popular because of many different reasons. One is there's a vast range of themes and plugins available out there, and many of them are free. So it is also another low-cost way to get started. You can use WordPress to build an e-commerce website, and you can do this using a plugin called WooCommerce, which is a free plugin. Now, in terms of costs, WordPress itself is free, but you do need to set up your hosting plan first and to register a domain before you can use it. Now, this could be a downside to WordPress. The platform does need regular maintenance. So on a regular basis, around once a month or so, you will need to go into your WordPress admin and update all the themes, the plugins, the WordPress core files. And it's a good idea to make backups on a regular basis as well. It is rare, but sometimes there could be conflicts, errors on your website due to issues with the code. So if you have a backup available, at least you're able to restore the backup to a previous version of your site, and you won't lose any recent information. But despite the fact that you do need to spend some time on the maintenance, it's still a very powerful platform, and I do recommend it to most of my clients. Third platform we're talking about is Shopify. Now, if you are running or thinking of running an e-commerce business, then Shopify may be the best choice for you. So it's a very popular e-commerce platform. It powers millions of merchants around the world. With Shopify, there's no limit on the number of products you can sell in your store. You're able to access themes. So themes are like templates, which determine the look and feel of your website. And the themes are all highly customizable without the need for editing any code. So very user-friendly. If you need more features, then there are literally thousands of apps available from the Shopify App Store, both free and paid ones. So in terms of costs, usually the basic Shopify plan costs $25 a month, but there's currently an offer where you can get your first month for only £1. So we highly recommend making the most of that offer if you want to try out the platform. Alternatively, you can contact us about setting up an unlimited trial store for you. So there is a feature called a development store, which is essentially a unlimited trial, which you can use for exploring the platform for as long as you like. There's no time limit on this. And you only pay for the hosting fees once you are ready to launch your website and go live. So we do charge a small fee for this, but it's much more cost effective because you only pay the setup fee once. And then, as I say, you don't need to pay any monthly hosting costs until you're ready to launch. And finally, you will get 24/7 access to the Shopify support team via various channels such as chat, email, and the community forums. So help is always available. Okay, so there are many other website building platforms out there, and we can't go through all of them, but we recommend comparing and contrasting maybe 2 to 3, doing some research and analyzing them to find out which one is most suitable for your needs. Okay, so we're now moving on to search engine optimization, or SEO. So you may have heard of this, and it's a process of improving your website and helping your website to rank higher in search results. So billions of people are searching on search engines like Google every single day. And you don't want to be missing out on potential business from these people who are searching. So ideally, you would want your website to appear as high as possible in the search results when people are searching for queries that are relevant to your business or to the products or services that you are offering. SEO is organic, meaning that you don't use paid advertising and it doesn't cost you anything to do SEO unless you hire someone to do it for you. And this is a very large area, but we'll go through the very basics of what you need to do to improve and optimize your site. So there are areas on your website where you need to put relevant keywords in. So some of these are page titles, meta descriptions, and alt tags for images. So keywords are words like individual words, or they can be phrases that people are searching for and are words that are relevant to your business and your website. So when the two match, your website appears in the search results. So you want to make sure that those keywords are placed in those particular locations on your site. Fix broken links. So if you've ever clicked on a link and got an error that says the page is not found, that's a broken link and it's not a good user experience. It's also not good for SEO. So if you have any broken links, then either fix them so they point to the right page or remove them. Your website needs to have a logical structure. So when users are on your website, they can easily navigate it and find the information they're looking for. It needs to be loading fast. It should offer good user experience, and it needs to be responsive. So by responsive, in this case, we mean it needs to work well on all devices, ranging from the smallest smartphone to the largest desktop computer and everything in between. So iPads, tablets, laptops, etc. Submit your website to Google Search Console. So this is a free tool provided by Google, which gives you some insights into how well your website performs in search. It can give you details of any errors that are harming your SEO and many other analytics. Ensure that your website has an SSL certificate installed. So if your web address begins with HTTPS, then you don't need to worry about this. You already have the SSL installed. But if it's just HTTP, then you need to most likely ask your hosting provider for the certificate to be installed. Otherwise, users may have issues accessing your website. You could have errors saying your website is not secure, and this is bad for user experience as well as SEO. Add new content to your website on a regular basis. So search engines like websites that are frequently getting updated. And we'll look at some ways to do that in a second. Finally, ask other website owners to link from their site to your site, and that process is known as backlinking. So you could contact other website owners and ask if they'd be happy to link to your website. But we want to make sure we get links from reputable sites. We don't want any spammy links there, as that can also harm your SEO. Okay, so we talked about updating the content on your site on a regular basis, and blogging is one way to do that. So blogs are longer articles that you add to your website. It can be on a regular basis. We recommend around every 2 weeks. It is a good way to demonstrate that you're an expert in your field. Maintaining a blog also keeps your audience informed and engaged because you're providing them with new, fresh content for them to interact with. Helps improve the SEO, as we mentioned. All of the website builders that we talked about offer a blogging tool. And it is a long-term process, so you can't expect to add a couple of blog posts to your website and expect a large amount of traffic on your website overnight. It does take time to build up that traffic. As you add more content to your website, gradually search engines will recognize that your website is an authority in your field. And over time, then your website will rise higher on the search engine rankings. But it could take 6 months to a year to even longer before you start seeing the results. Your content needs to be relevant, so this is quite important, and this goes back to our first slide on research. This is where knowing your audience comes in. So you need to know who your audience is and use the right type of language that's suitable for your audience. And make sure that you're always keeping their pain points and their problems in mind. Think about what sort of questions they might be asking, and your blog should be answering those questions, providing the right type of content that's relevant to the types of information that your audience is searching for. For example, this could be tutorials, how-to guides, industry updates, for example. And then how regularly to post content. So every 2 weeks is a reasonable frequency, but if you're finding that difficult to keep up with, then even once a month is still good. The main thing is to maintain a regular schedule. So if you're going to post every 2 weeks, make sure you do it every 2 weeks and not post for a few weeks regularly and then stop and then start again, because that's not good for consistency. And main thing is to be consistent here. Okay. So next we're talking about social media, and a very popular method of marketing, and the reason being is that it is free. So social media is a very effective and inexpensive way of marketing your business. And a good reason why it's good is because you're engaging directly with your followers. And like blogging, it's a long-term strategy. So you do need to produce relevant content, and again, publish content on a regular and consistent basis. Like we mentioned before, keeping the target audience in mind is key. So you need to be producing content that really speaks directly to the audience that you are targeting. Most popular social media platforms, and I'm sure most of you have heard of all these: Facebook, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, TikTok, Pinterest. Each of these platforms have their own characteristics, so a certain type of audience that use these platforms. So you need to do some research on these and work out again which platform or platforms are most likely to be suitable for the people you are targeting. So things such as age group, interests, occupation, and so on. Also, the types of content that you find on these platforms. So X is mostly text-based, very short messages. And on the other hand, you have Instagram and Pinterest, which are purely image-based. So again, think about the type of content that resonates with your audience, whether they and also the type of product or service you're offering. So if you're an artist, for example, then maybe Pinterest or Instagram might be better, for example. If you're producing mostly video content, then TikTok might be more suitable. But on the other hand, you need to take into account the age group. So if you're targeting an older audience, then TikTok may be less suitable. Maybe Facebook would be the right platform for you. Then one platform is called Nextdoor. So this could be good if you are a local business. So Nextdoor is another social media platform where you can engage with the people in your local community. It's free to use. If you want to place ads on there, you need to pay for them. But it's a good way of promoting your business if it's local. Now, a couple of things about social media. The algorithms are constantly changing, which makes it challenging. So you need to try and stay up to date with the latest changes. Experiment with different strategies and find out what works best for you. Because we can't give you a magic formula that will work. Every business is different. Everyone's target audience is different. So what you need to do is to try out different methods. So different types of content like images, carousels, videos. On LinkedIn, you can upload PDF documents and see what tends to work well with your audience. Try out different schedules. So You might want to try posting once a week or more frequently and see which is better. And also the time of day that you're posting could also affect the performance. And I often get asked what is the best time to post on social media. And I usually say, look at your analytics. Most, if not all of these platforms give you some data about how your posts are performing. And you will have some information, especially on Instagram, that tells you what time of day and what days of the week your followers are most active. And that can give you an idea of when is the best time to post your content. You'll also be able to see other data like how many likes, comments, new followers you're getting. So look at all of this data, and that will give you the information you need to improve your strategy. Now, a couple of tools to help you manage your social media, and it can be overwhelming trying to keep up with your posting schedule and knowing what to post and when. So it's a good idea to create a content calendar. Could be as simple as a spreadsheet where you list out what you're going to post and when. And you can use scheduling tools. So you put all of your content into the tool. It's like a calendar. You put your posts in there, you set the time and date you want it to be published, and then the post will automatically be published at that date and time. So it's like a set and forget kind of system where you can plan everything in advance and just leave it, and the tool will do the scheduling and posting for you. So there's a couple of tools here. Meta Business Suite that works with Facebook and Instagram, and I believe there's no limit on how many posts you can schedule. And there's also Buffer, which is quite generous on the free plan, so we recommend it. You can connect up to 3 channels. So one channel is like one social media profile. And it allows you to schedule up to 10 posts per channel at any one time. So you might want to have a look into that one. Okay. So moving on to email marketing now. So this is one of the few marketing methods that doesn't rely on an algorithm. Email marketing is a powerful tool for keeping your customers engaged. And here are some ideas of some content you can put into your marketing. For example, newsletters, special offers, competitions, launch of new products or services, maybe company updates. Now, use an email marketing platform. That's the best way to do it because you'll be able to get insights into key metrics. And there's a few that you should monitor in order to improve your and the performance of your email campaigns. So open rate is the number of people who open your emails. Click-through rate is how many click the links in your emails. Bounce rate is how many emails bounced for some reason. Perhaps the email address that was given was not valid. And unsubscribe rate is how many people unsubscribe after receiving one of your email campaigns. And here are some common email marketing platforms, all of which offer a free plan. There's MailChimp, which is probably the most popular one. MailerLite, which is a good alternative to MailChimp. It's very easy to use I find, especially if you're a beginner, I find it's much easier to navigate than MailChimp. And I think it does offer more for the free plan as well. Thirdly, there's HubSpot. And HubSpot is a complete marketing suite, so it offers much more than just email marketing. So if you are looking for other tools such as live chat, for instance, then HubSpot might be a good choice for you. And finally, we want to make sure you are aware of GDPR requirements. So you do need to ask permission from people before adding their email address to your mailing list. And also in the bottom of your emails, your marketing platform should add an unsubscribe link to each one automatically, which will allow your subscribers to unsubscribe from your mailing list at any time. So always keep that in mind. Next is Google Business Profile. So this is a free tool provided by Google. And you may have noticed sometimes when you search for a business on Google, then a panel might appear on the right-hand side with some information about the business, and that's the Google Business Profile. So this is a good way of gaining visibility to your business and also improving SEO. If you go to the link on the slide here, that will take you to the Google Business Profile where you can enter your business information and create your profile. Ask your client to write reviews. So when you go into your profile, there'll be an area there that says reviews, and there's a link it gives you that you can copy and paste into an email or text message, which you can send to your customer. And that takes them directly to the box where they can enter their review. A good idea to respond to all reviews because it shows that you are listening to your customers' feedback and you're responding. So whether it's a good review or a bad one, it shows people that you care about your customers' feedback and you're always looking to improve. So when you're creating your profile, make sure to enter as much information as you can. So there'll be area to enter your contact information, your opening hours. You can add a booking link, like a Calendly link, for instance. There's FAQs on there as well. So you don't need to wait for your customers to add an FAQ. You can add them yourself. Also, there'll be links to your social media profiles. You can enter the geographical areas you serve, the services you're offering, and so on. So we recommend you do that. It's a free tool and it doesn't require too much effort. You can also add updates on there. So this is not shown on the screenshot, but there's a area nearer to the bottom, which is like a mini kind of blog. So you can add company updates on there, and you can also add events. So if you're running a workshop or any other type of event, you can showcase it on your business profile. Local directories. So as well as Google Business Profile, there's other directories available. A local directory is a list of businesses which enables users to find companies within a specific geographical region. So listing your business on a local online directory can help improve your website's SEO. Because when you create a new local citation, you're also creating a new backlink to your website. So earlier we talked about backlinks, and adding your website to a local directory is one way of generating those backlinks. And many of these local directories are free. There's a few examples listed here, such as Bark, Yelp, Yale.com, and others. So not all of these will be relevant to all businesses, but again, we recommend doing some research and finding some directories that are suitable for your business. Okay, so next we have video marketing. Now we all know that video is a very powerful tool. It's really trending nowadays. I've recently seen an update to LinkedIn where they are now promoting videos over other types of content. So there's different types of video, different purposes, and here are a few ideas you can begin with. And obviously this will depend on the product or services that you are offering. But there are tutorials and how-to guides. These are good for if you have a particular product and you want to showcase how people should be using that product. Webinars and workshops. So like we're running a webinar right now. Unboxing videos, again, good for physical products. Free courses. And so you may want to use to give some content away for free. New product launches. Then there's also YouTube Shorts. So these are vertical videos that you upload to YouTube, which can be up to 1 minute long. So video is a good way to complement the other marketing methods, and of course not limited to YouTube. There are other social media platforms where you can upload video to, and we mentioned LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, and most of the others also allow you to upload videos. PPC advertising. So most of the marketing methods that we've mentioned, well, I think all of the methods we've mentioned so far are free. Now, PPC is a paid method. It stands for pay per click. So this is a model of digital advertising where the advertiser, which would be yourself, pays a fee each time one of your ads is clicked. So with paid advertising, this is a good way to quickly gain visitors to your website and increase conversions. But it can be expensive, so you need to define your budget and make sure you stay within that budget. If you don't optimize your adverts and don't target appropriately, you may find that you are getting a lot of clicks and therefore you're getting an increase of traffic to your website. But if it's not the right sort of traffic and the product or service is not what your visitors were expecting, then they are not going to buy from you. So you end up spending money on getting the traffics and clicks to your website, but not actually making any sales. So Paid ads can be run on search engines like Google or Bing, and also social media platforms offer this service as well. Make sure to advertise on the platforms that your audience is using. So as we keep saying, do your research, know which platforms your target market is utilizing, and place your ads on those platforms. Finally, you should monitor the performance of your campaigns so you can make adjustments and improvements. So look at how well your ad campaigns are performing and use that data in order to improve your future campaigns. Okay, so I will now briefly hand over to Gary, who will talk about our generative business support program.
Yes, this program today is brought to you with support from the Royal Borough of Greenwich Generative Business Program, which is for businesses with a social or environmental purpose. And you've got to be Greenwich based or delivering services here. I recognize at least one person on the program here today. Hello, Eleanor. Nice to see you. And this is one of the things that we can potentially offer you in terms of support. I just want to illustrate a very practical thing that we're doing, which is helping you to develop a digital marketing strategy. And Sybil will work through this with you. We'll review your digital footprint and then come up with an action plan for developing it. Basically, there's a little more to it than that, but I don't want to go into a very detailed explanation right now. But this is just one of the ways that we can help people on this program. We're helping with fundraising, business planning, and a range of other marketing and promotional support, as well as giving people one-to-one advice. But like I said, it's only for Greenwich-based organizations or organizations that are delivering services in Greenwich. If anybody wants a copy, Audrey, I've noticed you've asked for a link. We'll send that to you. So I'll hand back to Sybil now.
Thank you, Gary. So we're coming to the end of the presentation. All of the methods we talked about so far are digital marketing methods, which you would do online. So I just wanted to briefly mention some offline marketing methods. It's a good idea to always use a range of different methods, so you don't have to limit your marketing just to digital methods. So depending on, again, your target audience, the products or services you're offering, then some of these methods here may be appropriate to you as well. So first off, we have flyers, posters, or leaflets, business cards, which are good for handing out at networking events, newspapers, something that you may not have considered, but there are still many people reading newspapers today. Word of mouth, so this is a very powerful method. Telling your friends, colleagues, family members about your business and spreading the word verbally. Getting a verbal recommendation is one of the most reliable ways of gaining business in many industries. Networking events, I mentioned in-person networking, as these are starting to become more popular again and since COVID. So yeah, I find personally that I can make better connections in person than online, but of course it depends on your preference. Online events can work just as well. Markets and pop-ups, if you're selling artwork, jewelry, for example, then these could be a good option for you, even clothing as well. Discount and loyalty cards, and finally referral programs. So yeah, here's a few different methods here that you may want to try. Using a range of marketing methods is always the best strategy to go for. Okay, so that's the end of the main presentation, and we are now taking any questions, and you can either put your question into the chat box, or raise your hand or speak your question out loud. And whilst we are doing that, I'm going to put our contact information on the screen as well.
Sybil, there's a question from Wendy about what is a referral program?
Yeah, so a referral program is where you offer a discount for referring someone to your product or service. Just trying to think of an example here. So I could offer a referral program for my web design services. So if you referred me to one of your friends or colleagues, they could receive a discount from me because you have helped me to gain some business. So in return, I'm able to offer your friend or colleague a discount on that service.
A lot of banks are doing this as well now. They say we'll credit you and or your friend with £200 if you refer to somebody to us and they sign up as a customer of the bank.
Yeah, that's a good example. Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground this morning, so we're quite happy to take any questions on anything that's been discussed or presented here. So don't be afraid to ask while you've still got a few minutes of our time left.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Um, the the email digital marketing strategy printout that you showed a bit earlier on, is it possible to have a copy of that one? Yeah, that's the one.
Yes, yeah, you're part of the program, so this is one of the things that
That'll
we're
be one
doing.
of them. Thanks.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Okay. Yeah. Just to say as well that all the people who are on this presentation this morning will get a copy of the presentation. So if you've missed any of it or you weren't quite sure, you'll get a copy of it. So is there anything you want to add to anything? If there's one piece of advice you were going to give, oh, we got one from Wendy. This is a good question. Email marketing. Is it unlawful not to have an unsubscribe button? Well, yeah, well, you should have one. I mean, this GDPR regulations are complex, but I'm regularly receiving emails from people, and some of these look like quite big companies, and there's no unsubscribe button. Some of them have, reset your preferences. Well, if it makes it much more difficult for you to unsubscribe. But so the law around this is kind of sketchy, but generally speaking, you should have an unsubscribe button. Don't know whether you want to add to that, Sybil.
Yeah, I mean, the law says that it should be as easy to withdraw your consent as it is to give your consent. So having the unsubscribe button is the quickest and easiest way to let people unsubscribe from your marketing. If you don't have the unsubscribe, then the alternative is you could add a line at the bottom that says, please contact us to have your details removed from our mailing list. But then, of course, that would take more time because they're going to contact you and then you've got to manually remove them, which could take a few days. So we always recommend just use the email marketing programs feature because it does it for you automatically and it just makes it so much easier and quicker. So
Yeah, if you use MailChimp, that's an automatic feature on. There is an unsubscribe button on that. There's no ifs or buts on that. Another advantage of using a platform like MailChimp or one of the others that Sybil mentioned is that they've got some responsibility around GDPR, although some of them try and shift the blame a bit. So if there's any issue about this, they've got some responsibility. It's not solely in your responsibility as long as the email has gone out on the regular program with the unsubscribe button clearly visible. If there's any issues around that, then they've got some responsibility on that. Legally, I think it's still quite unclear exactly how much. It's a bit like on the internet, whether the big social media companies are publishers or just platforms. So it's a kind of a similar difference, but they do have some responsibility there. So that's a good reason to use one of those programs like MailChimp or MailerLite. Any other questions from people? It's now getting towards midday. Sybil, have you got anything further to add that you said today? Is there any final advice you'd like to give people?
yeah, I think the final thing I would say is stressing the importance of monitoring your performance. So we talked about a few things today, like looking at the analytics on your social media, monitoring the key metrics of your email marketing campaigns, your ad campaigns. It's really important to know whether your efforts are working or not, because there's no point in continuing with something if it's not giving you the results. So the way you would know whether you're getting the results you're expecting is by looking at your analytics and looking at that data. One thing I didn't mention today was Google Analytics, which does give you some insights into how well your website is performing. So this is another free tool which you can add to your website, and it will give you insights into who's browsing your site, i.e. what countries they're coming from, what pages they're looking at, what devices they're using to browse, how long they're spending on your website, which is all really important data. So my final word of advice really is to monitor your efforts and use the data that you collect in order to keep continuously improving on your marketing methods, your marketing campaigns. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Sybil, and thank you for a very comprehensive presentation this morning. if you just close this screen down, thank you. I'd like to thank all of you here today. We are running these programs for those of you who can't afford it. Support from digital marketing providers or others. I would suggest you want to look to some of the business support programs out there. There are other ones, whichever borough you're based in, they will be there. Whether they're exactly the same remains to be seen. But they are out there. Just check out your local authorities website wherever you are. And we will be back with another presentation. I'm just checking the dates here. Next Thursday, I'm just being told. This is a webinar. It's more specialist, perhaps, on social impact and some of the key features of that. That's being very well received from those people who've been on it. So again, this is free as part of our Royal Borough of Greenwich presentation, and I will be doing the presentation on that about how to quantify and measure the social impact of your business or project and some of the techniques for doing so. So thank you very much for all joining us here today. I hope to see you again. Please link up with us, Sybil and myself, on LinkedIn. I'd like to thank Sybil one more time for her presentation. Covering all this ground in less than an hour is not easy, as I'm sure you can appreciate. So thank you very much, Sybil. And with that, I'll wish you a good day.